So the Federal Reserve lowered interest rates today by 50 basis points. It's the first time they've actually done this since COVID and March of 2020. So over the last few years, they've actually been raising rates at the fastest pace in history. So today they actually finally cut those rates. It makes a big difference on, I would say, quite a few things. So you have like your high yield savings, those you're gonna get a little bit less on, which is gonna push people into more riskier assets like stocks. So that could help the market. Historically it does, but then also there's another historic fact that after they've lowered rates, we've had some pretty big downward moves. So initially it's positive, and then it could potentially get pretty ugly. Who knows? But that is kind of the big major thing that happened today. Jill, do you even know what that means?
I do not, but I do recall that you predicted this correctly, right?
Yes, so everybody thought it was gonna be 25 basis points. I thought it would be 50, and it was 50, so.
You're so smart.
Oh,
You're so smart. But no, I don't know what it means.
So essentially the Federal Reserve is a private bank. They can set interest rates. They lend money to the government. They can also print money out of thin air, which is why I like Bitcoin. And they can make money more expensive to borrow, or they make it cheaper to borrow. So if it's cheaper to borrow, you can go out there and take more money from banks at a lower interest rate. That way the amount that you pay back is less. Whereas if you wanted to borrow $1 million at 5%, you're gonna pay that 5%. If you borrow it at 1%, you're gonna pay less back, so.
Okay, so what is the 50 points?
50 basis points is technically 0.50%. They call it basis points because it can be very confusing. So that's kind of the big thing that happened today. I think that's gonna kind of wake some people up to the market, but we're gonna go ahead and continue on with what we do on this show, which is just invest our coffee money every single week.
Doing a thing.
We actually hit a milestone this week. Do you know what it is?
No.
So combined, you and me together, we have now saved over $5,000 in coffee money.
Oh.
So I think that's pretty impressive.
Take that, coffee joints.
Exactly. Ha! So the whole reason that we even started this was because people kept saying you can't save coffee money and make a lot of money off of it. And we're here to prove that wrong. So, and it's to teach her how to learn about all this stuff because it's a very complex thing. And it's taken me 10 years to even have the confidence to say, let's do this.
Because you're so smart. You're so smart.
But let's go ahead and we'll get on with the trades this week. I went ahead and actually bought an EV company that just came out with an SUV EV. They're on the verge of maybe bankruptcy because they lose over $100,000 every car that they sell.
Ouch.
So I bought Lucid this week because I was impressed with their SUV lineup for EVs. Again, if interest rates are now getting lower, that allows people to buy things like cars, houses, all that stuff at a little bit lower of a monthly rate. And I know from experience, a lot of people just focus on the monthly rate of what they spend.
So true.
So your mortgage, your car payments, if you can afford it for the month, you usually buy it. So the fact that all of those things are gonna start going down, it may lead some people into buying some different things. So that was the trade that I made this week. I just think that they're likely to survive. And with the environment the last few years, you know, my gut instinct is to take the risk on them. So.
And they have pretty headlights.
They do have pretty headlights.
I like them.
But Jill.
I bought two things this week because I did sell my BurgerFi.
Ooh, yeah, because they announced bankruptcy.
Yeah. So I sold them before my loss got worse. I didn't panic. There's no panicking. I felt like that was just a smart decision. But with that, so I had roughly about $25 extra, so plus my 50. I put a little bit of money into something that we did yesterday, or resembling something we did yesterday. So we have recently become very obsessed with chicken wings.
Oh.
I make a mean chicken wing.
It's very true. They're amazing, actually.
So what do you think I bought?
Wingstop?
Wingstop.
All right.
So that was what I kind of used a little bit less on. I used my like $25-ish on Wingstop.
Okay.
And then I used my whole 50 on something else that was kind of triggered in my mind. Because this is how I buy stocks, right? I invest in things that I know and things that are relevant to me and that make me happy.
Yeah.
Or things I'm, dealing with. Okay. So we have had kind of a link a leaky faucet for a while.
It wasn't leaky, it was just, it needed fixing.
Yes, it just, the base wasn't right. So,
So you bought Home Depot.
close. I was going to buy Home Depot and then I actually bought Lowe's.
She's going against me. She's going against the family.
Okay, to be fair, I didn't know where you bought.
I had already owned Home Depot. So
Oh, okay.
I guess we should.
But my reasoning, I have a reason.
Okay.
I'm super excited because I was looking at both of the graphs, and I liked where Lowe's was as far like Home Depot was kind of like on the rise already, and Lowe's wasn't. So I bought Lowe's instead of Home Depot.
Lowe?
At the low. At the low. Lowe's at the low. But it was more just a thought too of like, well, he's doing a project, summer vacation. A lot of people, like teachers are off work. It's just summer, like projects.
Well, it's the end of summer.
Or at the end of summer. So
It's
I guess-
project time in Arizona because it's not as hot.
yes.
I think
My
that's what she's
thought
getting at.
process is I'm picturing people like doing projects.
Because we live in a place where you don't do a lot of stuff outside when it's 115 degrees. You wait until it's winter is our summer in Arizona. So.
Yes. So projects are on the rise in my thought process, and Lowe's and Home Depot, and I liked the graph of Lowe's better.
Yeah, and I do know you crushed it in the last week, over 3%. I went over about 1% or so, but the fact that we crossed the 5,000 mark is pretty amazing, and I think that might bring on some more viewers once we hit 10,000, 15,000, 20,000.
All with just not buying
all
fancy
with just
coffee.
not buying. Yeah, it's shifting that little $7 amount coffee for each of us every day into an investment account. So. If you guys like that, definitely subscribe. If you like the video, definitely like it as well. And we will be back next week with some more.